Jungkook sat in his office with his phone close to his ear. Jungkook, are you sure you don't want to reconsider? You can't cancel the deal like this. The phone cut off from the other side. Jungkook threw the phone on the floor in anger. He shouted, "That old man!" He punched on the table multiple times to relieve his anger. The employee that sits right outside Jungkook's room heard Jungkook shout and his punches. She immediately panicked and called a number from her phone. "Miss Vine, Mr. John is very angry again, and it seems like he's hurting himself. Can you please—" Vine, what? He's hurting himself? She immediately cut off the call and ran out for his office. Vine knew Jungkook gets angry easily, and it's hard to control. He usually hurts himself too. She secretly requested the employee to call her whenever he is angry, because she knew she was the only one who could calm him down. Jungkook took slow breaths and calmed himself down somehow. Someone knocked on the door, and he looked at it. "Jungkook, come inside." It was his secretary, who was breathing fastly and said, "Boss, the man you captured ran away." Jungkook's eyes widened. He stood up from his chair and shouted, "What the hell are you saying? Lucas ran away?" "I don't know how it happened. I just went to deliver the food and he wasn't inside." "Jungkook, get the hell out and find him," he shouted. Lucas was the one who once kidnapped Vine and even tortured her. Jungkook can't forget that day and that man. He finally was able to capture him, and now he ran away. Suddenly, his phone started ringing, and he picked it up without looking at the number. "How are you, Jungkook? And how is your beautiful wife, Vine?" Jungkook's eyes widened. "You, Lucas? Don't take my wife's name out of your mouth." "Lucas, I won't just take her name from my mouth. Wait and watch." Lucas laughed and cut the call. Jungkook's breath fastened. He clenched his fists so tightly that they started shaking, and his eyes were bloodshot red from anger. He threw the glass that was in front of him on the ground, making him shatter into pieces. The glass broke right at the place where Vine stepped in. Vine gasped, looking at the glass and then his eyes. They stared at each other for a few seconds. Then Jungkook ran towards her and hugged her, pulling her head into his embrace tightly. "Jungkook, Vine," he whispered. The eyes that were burning from anger just a moment ago started forming tears as soon as he saw Vine. "Vine, what are you doing? What is all this? Are you okay?" Vine's heartbeat fastened while looking at him like that. She hugged him back tightly and said, "Calm down. I'm here now." "Jungkook, you're here, right? You're not leaving me, right?" He asked as he hugged her more tightly, to feel her presence in his arms, to know that she is here. "Vine, of course I'm here. I will never leave you," she whispered in a soft voice. Jungkook broke the hug and kissed her. His kiss was desperate and full of fear, as if he was trying to ground himself in the reality of her presence. She let him do that, knowing he needed this. Her fingers gently ran through the back of his neck, soothing him with her touch. When they finally pulled away, Jungkook rested his forehead against hers, his breath shaky and uneven. "Jungkook, I thought I'd lose you again. I can't go through that." His voice cracked, exposing the soft side he always tried to hide from everyone but her. Vine cupped his face, her thumb brushing away a tear that had escaped his eye. Vine, what happened? Tell me, she asked softly while looking into his eyes. Jungkook, that Lucas, he ran away again. I should have killed him. I'm so sorry, it's my fault. Vine hugged him once again. Vine, is that why you were crying? Forget it. Things never happen the same way twice. He can never come between us. She broke the hug and looked into his eyes. Fine. You will catch him again, right? Jungkook nodded, but his expression was still troubled. He knew how dangerous Lucas was, but Vine's presence, her words, were like a balm to his tortured mind. He pulled her closer, burying his face in the crook of her neck, breathing her in to calm himself further. Vine, just promise me you won't hurt yourself for me. I can't bear to see you like this. He heard her trembled voice and became worried for her. Jungkook, I'm sorry. I will try for you. Vine was his anchor, his safe haven, and he would protect her with everything he had. Just then, his secretary entered without knocking. Sir, we have tracked Lucas' location. It seems he hasn't gone far. He is still in the city. Jungkook looked at Vine and she smiled at him. He squeezed her hand tightly, drawing strength from her. Jungkook, catch him alive or dead. I will see his dead body myself. The secretary left after nodding, and Vine watched him, her heart swelling with pride and concern. Vine, I told you, he can't come in between us. Jungkook kissed her forehead and hugged her. Jungkook, thank you, Vine. I love you so much. She hugged him back and said, I love you too. Jungkook held Vine close for a moment longer, feeling comforted by her presence. When he finally pulled away, he brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. Vine tried to change the mood until the news of Lucas being dead arrives. Vine. But seriously, Jungkook, you can't keep punching holes in things. I'm coming here almost every day now. Jungkook chuckled. You know, if you keep running to me like this every time I get angry, I might start doing it on purpose. He teased while smirking. She pinched his arm slightly, making him gasp. Vine. Try doing it once more. I should already start charging a fee. It would make me millions without even doing anything. Jungkook grinned. How about I pay in kisses? He broke the hug and leaned closer to her face. Jungkook, I heard they have quite a high value on the market these days. Vine pretending to think, tapping her chin. I might need a sample first. Jungkook smiled and leaned in. He kissed her softly and patiently this time, which also made Vine sure that he was calm now. When they pulled away, Vine was blushing, but she tried to hide it by turning away. Jungkook dramatically came in front of her and grinned. Jungkook, so you like the fees? Vine blushed harder. Vine, not bad. I might take the job. Jungkook laughed, feeling lighter than he had all day, and Vine watched him, her heart warm after seeing him laugh like that.